What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to Two Tree Guys Podcast. I'm Jared Abergina, and today we are here talking with Mr. Brian Hooper with BIK Cranes. And we're going to be talking a little bit about our partnership and this launch of AKA and BIK working together, and a little more of what our initiative is to provide service and support out west. Yep. And yeah, so we'll start from there. And Brian has been a helpful hand getting this whole thing put together and to meet our goal out west. And tell us a little bit about yourself, Brian, and what you do for BIK.
Well, I'm been with BIK, known them for about 20 years, and I've represented them a few times. You know, I've had some life issues that I had to come and go a few times, but I'm in it for the long run now, and started technical with Elmer and Jeff and Paul and them many years ago, and was instrumental in building their beautiful facility here in Toronto headquarters, and segued into sales. Along the way, worked some territories. Elmer's the owner, and he's tasked me with, getting out and doing some special projects, such as a project like the West Coast. Spend a lot of time down there now, making relationships and getting our name and our stuff, our gear in the hands of our potential customers.
Right. And I think that's one thing, in what I've seen being out west is you don't see a lot of knuckle boom cranes.
No.
It's been stick cranes my entire 30 years of doing this work out.
Yeah.
Sorry. We got technical difficulties here. So
are we turn your camera around?
Oh, there we go. People want to see my face, I guess. All right. All right, we good? Hey, everybody. All right, you guys jumped on. Sorry about that. I don't have Phil here today organizing and being the main host of this, so I'm terrible at podcasts, and you guys get me today, so I apologize. Yeah. But to start over real quick, just talking about our initiatives of how AKA and BIK has become an affiliate to bring the brand and bring knuckle booms out to the West Coast. Brian being a huge portion of implementing this from all his years of experience with BIK, and now within kind of the sales and support, working with different clients. I mean, you're everywhere. You're not just on the West Coast. There's guys all over the place helping support and get the right equipment in people's hands.
Correct.
And I think that's a big portion of it. And I love BIK for that. Yeah. Is more being able to work with the individuals, tree care companies, to pick a piece of equipment that's going to suit them best.
Yeah. And I speak to that. I think we're as much as we do this, over 30 years, we think we're cookie cutter, but a lot of this is custom gear. And what might work for Jared may not work for Bob just down the road. So every market's different. They all have different requirements. They have different business models. So getting that piece of equipment and experience with all the people we've met and partnered and with the brand and get out in the face of that potential customer and get proof of concept in the field and how that it could, what's their need? Is it going to be profitability? Is it a labor pool problem? Is it health and safety? Is it whatever it is? So that's why we like to say that, we can build you a custom truck, but we want a custom solution that's going to suit that person so they can make money. And you and I probably go back now. I don't know. I was trying to sell you a custom solution a year and a half ago, and then we end up, working together. So things happen for a reason. Yeah. This is exciting. I got to stop banging the table, Bob. Yeah. But no, it's and here we are. Yeah. We're at headquarters. We invite people to come here and see our culture. We're still family owned. Which is not that we're a little family business, and we're family owned, and there's a guy that runs it, and he's passionate about what we do, and we can sell you a solution, but we can't do everything. So we know our limitations. But when it comes to truck mounted cranes and material handling with trucks, that's our wheelhouse. So
that's the knuckle booms, right?
yeah,
BIK.
absolutely.
Yeah. So let's touch a little bit and on American Knuckle Boom Arborists, AKA. I founded this less than a year ago, and I've always wanted a knuckle boom crane. Yep. And didn't know what direction to go, which one to buy, and met you about a year and a half ago at a grassroots event, teaching training through the academy. Yeah. New Jersey Crane was a huge element to this.
Absolutely.
Speaking with them, getting more insight of the cranes and the more just the company in general. And that's what sold it for me is I'm not just buying a crane. I'm buying a company.
Right.
I'm buying the service. I'm buying the support. I'm buying the sales. I'm buying everything that comes with it. And I want to know that I'm part of something further on down the road that when I acquire 2, 3, 4, 5 different types of trucks and cranes, that I have that connection and relationship with the company.
Absolutely.
So a huge portion of why I chose BIK. Ultimately, why we're here, what we're talking about is our initiative out west.
Yeah.
What's our task out west?
So it is. Originally it was to get these relationships and working with New Jersey and Hans and his group, and they're very. I'm a licensed crane operator, but I couldn't cut down a tree. I'd probably hurt myself. So the fact that they are arborists that run grapple saws, it's just so niche. So it's pretty cool stuff. And then hanging out with them and going to customers and shows, and then that was a segue, these grassroots events that we sponsor on the West Coast and meet like-minded people like yourself. And so birds of a feather, we all flocked together, and there was an opportunity. And I came back to Elmer and Jeff and Paul and said, hey, there's a need out there. I don't see a lot of knuckle booms. So that's a challenge. So what is it? They're not buying into the concept, or they have too much labor? Is it what is it? Mm-hmm. So they entrusted me and sponsored me to move forward and develop it. And it's not just that I work with you and hopefully mentor and coach you up so you're confident, with our other vendors. And then once I feel confident with you, I got to build the infrastructure to support Jared and Bill and Bob and Sue and all these other people that say, hey, yeah, we would love to have a piece of this equipment, but 8:00 on a Saturday night, who do I call? So we have that infrastructure behind the scenes. I'm always pushing that, making partnerships and realizing that it's regional. So what I might find in North Carolina, I go over the other side of the mountain and go, well, that's never going to work here. Mm-hmm. We have XYZ trees and we have different requirements. So I think that's where we, when we're a family-owned business, we can react to those requirements a little quicker.
Yeah. And you touched something really good there is regions, and especially in California, things change so drastically every 20, 30 miles. Yeah. Right. So working in San Francisco is not going to be the same as working in Santa Rosa, which is going to be different than working in Sacramento to Auburn and Tahoe.
I drove up through the Grapevine on Saturday night. I don't know what day today is, and I was in a snowstorm headed to LA. And then I get down into LA to catch my flight out. It's 56 degrees and sunny. So it's very, regional. Right. And
so picking the right piece of equipment for these clients is everything. Yeah. And I find that already in the short time being a part of the team here, BIK, how crucial that is. Mm-hmm. And for me picking my unit, the 104, I needed something very diverse. Yeah. That was very compact, and it was a reason why I picked that. I could go work the streets of San Francisco. I could still work, my residential areas and be tight enough to get around all these tight quarters and whatnot. So that was a huge reason for me. Now, obviously, my next step is I'm looking at a 126.
Well, you don't want to tell me that too quick, but I get it. I'll be patient.
Yeah. So the initiative here is to spread awareness about knuckle boom cranes.
Yes.
Out west.
Absolutely.
There's not enough of them, I think, and I think there's a huge. There's just it could be so impactful for companies to even try one.
Correct.
And get their hands on it. So what AKA has done is we're now a crane rental service for all the companies across Northern California and Southern, if should somebody be interested, right?
Yep.
West Coast at that. We're just here for all support and getting the cranes in people's hands to see the efficiencies behind them.
Correct.
Because you can look at them on YouTube, you can do this and that and watch videos, and that only goes so far. Until you start seeing it work within your organization is the only way you're going to know.
Absolutely.
Right. So,
and for your followers, I'm not sure if we mentioned we do have a sales office in Bakersfield. It's between the 5 and the 99 there, and it's a blue collar town. There's a lot of skills there. So some people may not think it's located ideally for them, but we will get to those customers. We keep gear there. I'm affiliated with a hydraulic repair shop there, so it's very critical to what we do as we move forward with our infrastructure. So if any of your listeners say, "Well, man, Jared's up in the Bay Area and I'm down in San Diego," no, don't worry. You just reach out to Jared or Brian or whatever, and we'll tailor make a visit or a production job or rental that will suit them. So we're not afraid to travel to get the proof of concept into the field.
Yep.
So,
and I think that's the best thing for a lot of listeners out there is if you're skeptical of buying one of these, rent one.
Yep.
I come out personally with that crane.
Yes.
And we'll cut some trees down. We'll show you how it works, how efficient it is, and if you could see that implemented into your business plan and your company. So be it. Then we move forward. We'll get you a crane.
Absolutely.
Within X amount of weeks, we have one trucked out and delivered right to your doorstep. New Jersey Crane comes,
absolutely
delivers familiarization right behind it, shows you guys the ins and outs, and it's a clean. The process for me was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I can't speak highly enough about that process. Excuse me.
And again, I just your industry, BIK, anything material handling or moving in the truck mounted field, that's our wheelhouse. That's our expertise, with brick and block and shingles and that. And some of those industries, they don't play fair together, but I find yours a little more organic. You learn from each other, you learn from your mistakes, and follow Academy, follow AKA, follow New Jersey Crane, get on these socials and see the pros. And actually you can see some good procedures on social and you can see some bad stuff too. So, but reach out, don't be afraid. Not everybody's going to be in the grapple saw business, but you know what? They might need a little knuckle boom to support their nursery or their whatever trash truck because they're doing pruning and all that other stuff. So we're just not pigeonholing you into a grapple saw concept.
Yeah, and what I love about this, there's so many options of types of cranes, grapple trucks, debris, handlers. It's just there's so much more out there that people just haven't dip their toes into.
Correct.
And they only know what they know.
Yes.
Right. And it's just kind of getting them to think just a little bit outside that box. And a lot of people go, oh man, well, I got so much money, 500,000, 700,000. I don't want to commit to that. Number one thing we hear in our industry is there's not enough people.
Yeah.
I can't hire people. I can't hire qualified people.
Correct.
This cuts down your crew in half. Having a piece of equipment like this. Moving material is the same way. Rather than have 3-4 guys out there chipping debris.
Yeah.
One truck, one operator.
Yeah.
Debris's gone.
And it's funny because I went out and did the Bay Area production job with you there a couple of weeks ago. And, I see the arborists go, originally they're a little standoffish about this new tool and is it going to put me out of work? And then one day in, and it's harmonious. They work in tandem. The guy on the dingo is like dancing beside the grapple saw truck. Like it's just amazing how, you're busy running the crane, but I'm watching how your operation is evolving while it's taking place. So it's one, it may limit some labor, but I think the real serious people, it's going to open doors and opportunities for them to get home to their families and whatever the dangers associated to your profession. Yeah. So no, it's pretty neat.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of options out there, as far as different types of equipment and different ways to implement efficiencies within an organization. This one for me was a home run. it was, a no-brainer for many years. Finally implementing it and watching it all take place has been an eye-opener. So, a lot of people that are on that fence, it doesn't hurt to just get a demo. Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Just get a demo. See what it can do.
I mean, I remember when I rolled into Pittsburgh, California, and Jared's like, man, like, let's take this thing in some farmer's field, and I don't want anybody watching. And you know what? Like 4 hours later, you're taking down branches. We had an audience. I had some things to catch up on, and here you are, like taking it slow and steady, but operating the crane and building that confidence. And then, Charlie came down and did that onboarding and that whole process. So we just don't hand you the tool and say, okay, figure it out. Mm-hmm. And if it's something more complex about, at the high level, how am I going to put this $500,000 or whatever it is in the hands of my people? So from the C level of the company down, well, we can align you with those people that have done this. If I have to fly you into one of our key accounts at the CEO or whoever you are, the owner, and say, you can personally, non-biased, go ask that owner, you bought a BIK truck. Are you making money? Are they helping you out? So we can facilitate that. Mm-hmm. So it's
support's there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And nothing's perfect. Like, it's mechanical equipment, and there's a learning curve and so on. And you and I have been into the oil and grease, but we figured our things out.
Yep.
So.
And that's just like any piece of equipment.
Yeah.
If you plan on buying a large piece of equipment, it needs maintenance.
Yeah.
It needs, daily maintenance. It needs weekly maintenance. And it has, there's a lot to it. So it's a huge part of any piece of equipment.
And Jared can attest to this, that, we've got long stemming people here at headquarters, Florida, Boston. How many times did you and I, now you've got some of our key techs on speed dial, and it was, hey, a little thing broke and you had to change some little switches and you're back. But you know what? You got the guy's number.
Right.
You didn't have to track me down or whatever. So it's all about those relationships and help. Some of the bigger ticket items, if we got to fly a technician out to get you running, well, sometimes that happens. So we're there.
Right.
And we try to find local support where that truck is going to be stationed. Mm-hmm. And they may have their own tech at their site. We've invited customers' techs to our training just to do some basic troubleshooting and maintenance. It's a win-win.
Yeah, just like for AKA, I'm based out of Northern California, Bay Area. Mm-hmm. And I have jobs ranging all the way up north and, Sacramento and above, and down south into Santa Cruz and in San Francisco and Santa Rosa. But, for any company that's interested, I'm there for support.
Yeah.
And I'll drive that crane to one of your locations, or you guys can come out to one of my locations and watch me remove a tree in action, real time. And I think that's one thing a lot of people want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see this thing make money. Mm-hmm. I don't want to just see it at a park and removing a tree at your own leisure. You're like, you have a deadline of X amount of hours to get this tree done. Yeah. I want to see what this thing can do. Yep. We have no problem doing that.
And, it's minimal setup, less collateral damage. You're not getting fence removal approvals and all this other stuff. Typically you're working through the hazard, mm-hmm. As opposed to having to remove it or whatever. So
low impacts to the landscape.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that less time for setup and whatever else could lead to more profitability in the end.
Yeah. So I'm gonna touch a little bit and just talk about AKA and basically what we provide. And why AKA really came about. I mentioned earlier, I just really wanted a knuckle boom truck, but this kind of transpired and it just kind of turned into something that I believe in. And I've always been in this industry to help and build and watch it grow. And one thing that I've seen, and from a training standpoint, from the academy side, hearing a lot of people always say, there's not enough people, I can't grow my business, I could double the size of my company. I just can't get my guys to be either better. I can't take on more work, or if I do get that, I got to add a bigger yard, or I got to buy more equipment, which I can. I need a bigger sales team. I need this and that and whatever, right? So it's hard for people to scale and grow. Mm-hmm. AKA there is a solution to help people take on more work.
Yeah.
So if you think about some of these average sized companies that just can't grow, but they can sell more work, that's where we come in.
Right.
So we can come in and be kind of a heavy hitter on projects, remove trees, because we're not only just crane operators, or
You're arborists.
we're arborists.
You're professionals.
We're professionals. We
Yes.
can remove trees. We can climb trees. We can fell trees. Right? There's a lot to it that what AKA provides. So, and we have a whole team of about 20 skilled professionals that can do this work and help support large companies, small companies. Doesn't matter. So for companies out there looking for additional support, don't think of just AKA as a crane service rental company.
Right.
Yeah, we're there to help as a solution in all their areas. So, I look at it as, and I've worked with a lot of companies like this so far, is certain projects where they're kind of hindered by profitability.
Yeah.
They look at it and go, man, we could do it, but man, we're going to make like 5% off this, and like, well, can you do it for X amount? And yeah, we can give them a 20% profit range for having us just come in and doing the work.
Right.
Because maybe we're just faster. Maybe we have more equipment. And at the end of the day, profitability is what we're going after. They make their end. We provide a service.
Absolutely. And can you speak to, stiff boom guys? So if you're in the business, you have a tree business as well. How many rental cranes would your company be renting now, like in the stiff boom? Like what, in comparison, how long does that take? And how does the stiff boom operator, he doesn't contribute in the removal whatsoever, correct? Is he just a crane operator?
Just a crane operator.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this is taking it to the next level, giving you more control.
It's just versatility.
Okay.
I see this crane, especially for some of the companies and my company itself, we use it for everything.
Gotcha.
And you find yourself, oh man, if I bought a crane, I may not use it that much. Maybe once a month, I don't do much crane work. Yeah, but if you had a crane there,
right,
you would use it a lot more.
Yeah, and I've seen on your socials even doing sling work. So we call them grapple saw trucks, but you just touched on something. It's a crane.
It's a crane.
It's doing whatever. Yeah.
There's a time and a place for all that, and for a lot of you people that have done crane work, you'll understand when you get out there. Well, okay, what type of tree is it?
Right.
Is it really thick? Is it wide open? Can I get a grapple saw in there easily? What's the species of wood, right? So rather than making a couple small cuts, would it be more efficient to throw a sling on there and make a 40-foot limb and take it in one piece?
Right.
So you kind of wait up, but you have that option.
Right.
Are
you finding that it's because you've had it long enough now that the setup, you're not taking as much space physically at the customer's site?
Yeah. It's about, I would say 60-40.
Oh, really?
60% using the grapple, and then 40% I'm slinging.
Okay.
And there's a lot of it that they work hand in hand. I grapple to a certain point, and then I sling and cut.
Oh, yeah.
So especially when it gets down to some of that wood, rather than me spending more time with the grapple saw, cutting that down in small segments, I'm pretty quick. So we'll just throw a sling and take a 10-foot piece instead of a 4-foot piece.
Yeah, I saw that when we were in the bay there. You left the, I don't know what you call it, the stem, the log, whatever, and it was pretty hardy, and took it over the roof and then processed it. That was pretty cool. So
one thing I really love about that truck is the versatility and the angles in which you can work.
Yes,
and that's one of the biggest kickers about having a knuckle boom crane is where stick cranes are limited to their degrees, right?
Yes,
and they get down to that 30, maybe sometimes 15 degrees, and it's kind of in that oh shit, and you're not getting much out of it. Where these knuckle booms can scope in and get underneath limbs, trees, lines,
even some of that
lines.
comm line. Like it wasn't even secondaries you were working here, but there was comm lines, telephone or whatever it was, or internet. But you were able to go low with the main and then extend out, and then whatever you did with the jib, and you didn't have to have wires taken down or call the utilities. Yeah, that was pretty impressive. So
there's lots of benefit, more so now that I have one than I ever realized.
Yeah,
and I watched a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of knuckle beams over many years, and until I actually owned one, now I see all the applications that it could be used for. So,
and you're always on the move. Like your people watching, reach out, and come up and be a bystander. It's like I said, and you said it too. It's one thing to go to the grassroots things, and we're there static or doing whatever to support the local branches or whatever. But come out on an AKA job and ask the questions, and 100%. Or I'll make arrangements to get you in front of one of these units.
100%. Well worth the. This is the new wave, right?
Yeah.
It's you got to stick with the times.
It's an evolution.
And it's just like anything else coming up in this industry. And I believe in it. I believe on the service that I'm providing for my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Someone say, well, why would you want to sell cranes to people that you're working for? Then they're not going to use your service. I'm like, well, if they buy a crane, I just won. Like
Absolutely.
that for them,
yes,
to add that value for their company and watch them succeed and be better. That's where I win.
Absolutely.
And that's everything that we do in the multiple companies that we're affiliated with is we're there to help clients win.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, we appreciate your support, and we look forward to growing with you and New Jersey, and the sky's the limit. I mean, it's happening. It's exciting. Your people have probably seen us with the support out at the trade shows, and we continue that, to support all those, the Western Conference and the ISAs around North America. So watch for us. Yep. And definitely reach out to Jared or myself, and we like to chat with you, and it might be a fit for your organization. So.
Absolutely. So you guys out there watching, share this. That's how you pay is, pass it on and share this podcast, and anybody in need of, help growing their company and providing, quality equipment, we're here for you. And that's our launch of our initiative for AKA and BIK, and appreciate you having on the show, and
thanks,
and,
Jared.
Speaking for everybody, and
anybody out there, if they find themselves in Buffalo or anywhere near Toronto, we love showing off our facility here. So reach out. I may not be able to do the personal tour, but we definitely like to show. We're very proud of our operation and our people.
As you should be.